Hello, everybody, young and old, black and white, gay or straight, and man or woman. Welcome to a special edition of AJ42K Productions. I am your host, AJ42K. Well, everybody, I want to say this in about 3 hours from now, the Pat Sajak era will be ending for good. Pat Sajak, for those who probably don't know, or everybody knows by now, Wheel of Fortune, the host, Pat Sajak. His final episode is tonight. Whether it's 7:30 in Eastern Time, 6:30 my time, 5:30 however else. Watch this one more time. Won't regret it. Whether you hate Pat Sajak or like him, whether you don't know who he is, whether you've been on the show, or whether you actually don't care about Wheel of Fortune whatsoever, or been a fan of it ever since and watched every episode since Pat Sajak was the host. Well, my advice, watch it tonight. My time is in the Central Time, so it'll be 6:30 my time, 7:30 for Eastern, 5:30 for Mountain, and however Pacific works, because that could vary. Everybody, Pat Sajak's final Wheel of Fortune episode is tonight at 6:30 Central my time, 7:30 Eastern. Pat, I have loved you. Sometimes it got too old, sometimes it got too boring, and of course sometimes it got funny as well as exciting. There's times, of course I didn't watch every stinking episode because I wasn't alive for all 8,000 plus. And I pretty much had stuff I had to do, and of course it got the same again, but then it ignited again. You know the drill, on and off, up, down, whatever. But Pat, I like to solve the puzzle. Unfortunately, I hate to say this, but in the words of Karen Koenig, you're finished! And unfortunately, I don't want you to be finished. I want you to stay longer. But I know your health matters, your happiness matters, your life matters, your kids matter, your grandkids matter, and of course, your wife matters. Well, Pat, there's something I want to say right now to you. Pat Sajak, the host of Wheel of Fortune. You've been funny many times, you've been corny many times, you've been awesome many times, you've been pretty much same stuff, different time every single year for 41 seasons, 41 years plus. But one thing I like about you, Pat, is one big thing you like to do. You love to be on there despite all the stuff you went through, good, bad, ugly, political, whatever, controversial, whatever. There was one episode I will never forget for the rest of my life, and I will always remember this episode. So this is a memory first, the first memory I want to bring up of all memories of Wheel of Fortune. This probably came out in 1999, if I recall. I don't remember the exact episode, but it was if you don't remember, I think you might remember this, because even I know Pat Sajak would, but a lot of people here younger than me probably will not remember, or weren't alive to remember, or don't even remember seeing it live in general. Un momento, I apologize, everybody, because I hate this signal. Trust me, it sucks. So forgive me on that. Let me get the signal. I apologize, and let's get cracking. And here we go. So, Pat, if you're seeing this right now, Pat Sajak, this will be the best one ever. I don't know if this was 1999 or 2000 or 1998, but I'll have to somehow do this, or even if it was earlier than that. Here we go.
P.
Pat, I know
People,
you remember
your
this
time
real
starts
well.
now. A group of pill pushers?
The look on his face says it all. Pat, yes, you. I don't blame you, Pat, for that.
This is Wheel of Fortune, Joe! A group of will wishes.
A group of well-wishers.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, man. Imagine, Pat, I know it's been about 25 years since that happened, or whatever, how many years it's been, but that, I still remember watching that. Even as a 12-year-old or 11-year-old kid, I died. Pat, That's the best memory I will always remember that you always had. Well, Pat, there was also one, of course, that a lot of people, kind of similar to people who annoy you, naggers, it actually came out. And surprisingly, I'm not going to somehow do this because I don't want to offend anyone, because rightfully so, don't get me wrong. But of course, if you watch South Park, of course, everybody my age or younger, those people who annoy you, and it said N without the blank, or the blank, Ggers. It said people who annoy you. Of course, Randy Marsh said with the I, and it really was naggers. People who annoy you, naggers. That was South Park. Well, now this came real life about 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know if it was 5 or 6 years ago. But there was Clam, C-L-A-M, and it had this was real life on this one. Pat, I definitely know you know this. It had the last letter without it. I-G-G-E-R. It's an occupation. I don't know if it was occupation or if it was something else, but it said Clam and it had one letter off, I-G-G-E-R. One of the guys did literally do that. And yes, he was white. Pat can tell you this. And it said N. And he spin the wheel. He said N. And everybody was like, Pat was like trying to hold his breath, trying to look at his face on this one. No, Stacy, or whatever her name was the next. That actually happened in real life. And man, I was like, oh boy, myself. It's going to happen in real life. But there will always be a memory to always do this for you, Pat. And this has been on my actual phone notification. And I'm going to imitate this wonderful, beloved sound that's been going on for the longest set of generations of watching Wheel of Fortune before, during, and after mine. I think everybody knows this one when I troll every team that I hate the most. Here we go. Pat, it's been on my on my notification tone for 5 years now, and I still have it to this day. Well, Pat, you're definitely not bankrupt, and you're not a group of pill pushers. And of course, you know Clam Digger, not you know. So, Pat Sajak, the host of Wheel of Fortune for 41 years, being with Vanna for so long, and of course the main announcer also for that long as well, and a fan of you for Wheel of Fortune for so many years. There is things I would love to say about you the most. You tolerated 41 years of happiness, joyfulness, stuff like This is Wheel of Fortune, Joe, and many other setbacks. You had to imitate Vanna White one time in real life, once before, doing what she was doing and what Vanna White was doing, you're doing, because you were having meningitis. Vanna White also later on hosted because you had to do surgery or whatever sort it was. And then came your wonderful daughter Maggie. But that's not just the only thing, Pat. The one thing, Pat, I do want to tell you is the best thing I liked about you the most, not just Vanna White alone, because of course it's Vanna White, but this is to you, Pat. Not one time you ever wore sneakers with a suit anytime you were dressed up on Wheel of Fortune, even if you were in the Hawaiian shirts or whatever. Pat Sajak, preach that to the generation before me, after me, and with me, and after me. This generation does not know how to dress up to the nines. Gen Z is the biggest example of this. You, sir, Pat Sajak, were like Vanna White. Now, with Vanna White, she never wore the same dress, which is true. She even mentioned that. You, sir, also, maybe not Vanna White material, don't get me wrong, but you, sir, are respected for this reason. You never one time wore sneakers with a suit, or anytime you wore anything trendy or of a trend for Hawaiianness or whatever. You, sir, know how to dress up. Preach what you dress up like to the generation before me, during me, and after me, because the generation now does not know how to dress up the right way. And speaking of that, I may not be Pat Sajak, but look at these shoes. To more specific, these shoes, to be more specific on this, I'm going to take a look. So, excuse me for a minute. These shoes, and with this dress shirt, tie, and all that, that's what Pat Sajak has been for the whole time. And for that, Pat Sajak, that's why I like you. You not one time played dress up the wrong way or dressed up with fashion don't or fashion police alert. And as a straight man, being alive for Wheel of Fortune for over 35 plus years, Pat Sajak, the host of Wheel of Fortune, I want to give you every respect to this day. For that, Pat, enjoy your retirement. Everyone here will miss you, no matter who it is, because you're not just Wheel of Fortune, you are Wheel of Fortune. It's not just Vanna White alone, it's you. Pat Sajak, we will miss you. I will miss you. And I'm watching the last one for you tonight on June 7th, 2024. Pat, enjoy your retirement. I will miss you, and everybody around the world and the country of America will miss you too. Have fun after June 7th. Enjoy your retirement, because there will never be another Wheel of Fortune ever again without you, and of course, Vanna. You are not just Wheel of Fortune, you are Wheel of Fortune. You are not a host of Wheel of Fortune, you definitely are the Wheel of Fortune. And for that, Pat, Hall of Fame soon to be is on your way. Thanks, Pat, for whatever you've done for us, and thanks for the memories, Pat Sajak. Until then, whatever you do next, I salute you, Pat.